name is Carl Adams. I'm the wrestling coach at Boston University. This is the 5th tape in a series of technique tapes that I have put together. This tape will cover special takedown series and techniques. I will be covering the head snap and head control series, the underhook series, the Russian 201, and the front headlock series. The head snap and head control series is one of the most effective ways to control a man and set him up for the attack. The first technique I will be covering is a head and collar tie position. My partner today will be Rick Lynch. Thanks for helping out, Rick. Okay, anytime you reach out to control the opposition's head in the collar position, the thing you want to keep in mind is that when you reach, you always reach from the inside position, like such. You come from the lap position and you go from inside out. You never reach from the outside in. Anytime you start to reach from the outside in, you give the opposition a chance to shoot in and attack your legs. So from this position, you reach from the inside out. Once you reach up to control his head, you want to control him right behind the base of his skull. With the other hand, you want to reach inside, and if at all possible, you want to control the inside position. When you reach up to control the inside position, you want to control his tricep area. Okay, so from here, you control the tricep area, and you control him behind the neck, right at the base of his skull. Now, when you reach out to tie his head up, you want to make sure that you keep your elbow in close to your body. Okay, so in this position, now, if the opposition tries to take a shot, you can use this elbow to block him out. Oftentimes, I'll see wrestlers come out, and when they reach to tie his head up, the elbow will be to the outside. In that situation, you'll give him an opportunity to control your elbow or take a shot in on your legs. So when you reach out to tie his head up, elbow close to the inside, control the inside position. Okay, again, when you control the inside position, you want to control this tricep area. This works good when you start to snap the man down to the mat or work for a setup. For instance, I'll snap Rick down to the mat. If you watched when I snapped him down to the mat, by controlling this arm, you control this entire side of his body. So again, if at all possible, you would like to go inside and control the tricep area, as you control right behind his neck and at the base of the skull. Okay, now, there's 2 ways that you can set this man from tie positions as far as setups are concerned. You can come out and you can do what we call a force setup, whereby you force this man out of position for your attack, or you can do a setup whereby you have him react. Normally, if this man is going to react to a head snap setup, you snap him from a position where you're away from his body, like such. You reach out here, you anticipate that he's going to come up, and when he comes up, then you can move into your attack position. So there's 2 ways you can set him with the collar tie or head snap setup. You can use a collar tie and snap to force him out of position and attack, or you can anticipate that with a certain setup, he's going to react, and then you attack him. For instance, I'll come in here and I'll snap him, and you know that he's going to pop up maybe. You can head into a 5-miss carry and take him over with a 5-miss carry. The thing you want to keep in mind about the head control and collar tie position is that you can take this man in any one of 4 directions. A lot of wrestlers lose sight of that. When I tie him up and control this position, you can take him down to the mat, straight down. You can take him to the right side by just snapping down and away. Again, in any direction that you take him, lead with your elbow. For instance, if I snap him this way, here, my elbow leads. So you can take him to the right side. You can also take him to my left side, this way. You notice, as I start to take him that way, I lead with my elbow, that way. You can also take him up by setting it this way. You might snap him first, he reacts, pop him with your elbow. Attack there, pop him with the elbow. Attack there. So you can take this man in any one of 4 directions. Again, let's look at this. We're controlling this arm. We control the collar tie. First one, we take him straight down. When you take him straight down, it's a good idea to keep in mind that if you take him towards this leg, you should take that leg back. like such. If you don't take the leg back, he may have an opportunity to shoot in on a leg attack. So as you're drilling this, you work on coordinating, taking this leg back as you snap him, like such. Now he's down on the mat. That's the first direction. Second direction, you take him down and away. Lead with your elbow. Now, as you do that snap, it's key to use this arm to steer his body and his head. As you take him down, you want to get as much of your weight down on his head as possible. It's not just using your hands and forearm. So you snap him down. You're using your body weight to snap him down. As you do that, you snap him down and away by using this inside control tie to turn his body, like such. So it's down, drive. Now, the other direction that you can take him is up. You might take him up by doing this. Snap first, he reacts, boom, and into an attack. Okay, the other direction that you can take him is to my left, in the other direction, to the other side. From here, you snap, now, drive, elbow leads, snap. When you do this, you get as much of your body weight into it as possible. Snap, drive. I'll give you an example of a shot that you could take with this particular setup. Right into a single. Okay, again, just a high single position. Snap, right into a single. The thing you want to keep in mind when you snap this man is that his body has to follow his head. Anytime you snap him, his body has to follow. The other thing that you keep in mind is that when you control his head, you have a good chance to control his center of gravity, which is his hips. Now watch. If I take his head in a certain direction, he's going to have to take a step to catch his balance. This is his center of gravity here. Anytime I take his head and I pull him, say, this way, you notice he has to take a step to maintain his balance. And that's what your head snap is all about. There. There. His body has to follow his head. Now, you can force him out of position with it, or you can anticipate that he's going to react. Now we're going to show you some ways that you can attack this man from the head snap or collar tie and inside control position. Remember, anytime you control this man in this position, you can use what we call force setups, whereby you force the man out of position to attack him, or setups whereby the opposition has to react. I pop his head, he pops up, and then you attack. When you're practicing various techniques using the head snap or head control techniques, make sure that you tell your partner, okay, I need you to react to this particular technique. I'll give you an example of what we're talking about. I'm going to hit a head snap fireman's carry. So I control inside position. I get my body parts in place, my penetration leg forward. Okay, now, from here, I come here, I pop, and I'm going to have Rick react. Okay, now, that's how you drill techniques when you have the opposition react to your head snap. Okay, if you're working on force setups whereby you force the opposition out of position, it's a matter of forcing him out of position and then attacking. Okay? Now, let's go through a few things that you can use with a head snap or head control tie. Okay, number one, you can snap this man all the way down to the mat. Remember, when you tie him up, always inside out. Pull down hard, snap him down to the mat. We'll go into a front headlock position. Inside leg back. Now, you have him controlled down on the mat. You can work a head snap, fireman's carry, or head snap, outside reach fireman's carry. So you can go to the outside, okay? Or you can go to the inside. You can go head snap, inside reach takedown. You can go head snap, inside reach single to the other side. So you can attack this man in any number of ways with a collar control tie, or reaching out from an open position to attack him. The next series I will be discussing is the underhook series. The underhook is one of the most effective control type positions there is. The first thing I want to cover is how to get into the underhook position. Okay, one of the first ways to get into this underhook position is just to come in when you're wrestling someone and just dig to the inside position. You notice, as I dig for my underhook, my elbows are in close to the sides of my body, and all you do is you reach out and you dig in to control the underhook position. Okay, that's one way to get into the underhook position. Another way to get into it is by reaching up, snapping a man's head. As his head starts to go down, you dig up for your underhook, like such. So it's done like this, like this. You can do that to either side. So if I did it to the other side, it would be here, and dig in for your underhook that way. So the first way is just digging for it. Keeping your arms in close to the sides of your body, and then working into your underhook position. The second way to get into it is by snapping his head. Okay, you come up, you pop his head down, and as you pop, again, elbow in close to the side of the body, you dig in that way. Another way to get into the underhook position is by taking a leg shot. Oftentimes, when you go for a single leg tackle, the opposition will counter by going into a whizzer position. Okay, I take my shot here, he goes into a whizzer, so as soon as he goes there, you look to come up immediately, and then you have your underhook. So there are three basic ways to get into the underhook position. Now, let's talk about how you control the underhook. That's very important. Okay, there's a couple ways that you can control this. The main thing you want to do is make sure that you have your head on the same side that you control the underhook on. Oftentimes, I'll see wrestlers with the head on this side. That will limit the number of ways that you can attack this man if your head is on the opposite side. So you want to have your head to the same side that you control the underhook on. The other thing you want to take a look at is how you control this man's shoulder. When you take it on the hook, you want to make sure that you're above the shoulder joint, okay, as opposed to being right across the shoulder. If you can control him above the shoulder joint, you're going to have more control of your underhook, like such. Now, there's two ways that you can control it once you go above that joint. You can have your elbow in close to your body like this, and a lot depends on what type of technique you're getting ready to shoot. Or you can have this elbow out to the side like such. If you control this shoulder, you're going to find that it's pretty easy to lift your elbow up to clear a way so that you can take a shot on a leg or a different type shot. So, two ways to control it. Number one, make sure that you control it above the shoulder joint as opposed to right over his shoulder. Okay, from here, you can have your elbow in close. Now, in this situation, this would be good for an ankle pick. You're in nice and tight, you pull him in a circle, and you pull him right into a position so that you can hit your ankle pick. From the other position that you can hit this from, or other way that you can control this, is to take the elbow and lift it high, like such. Now from here, this is good for high crotches, duck unders, and singles. Because the elbow is already lifted high, now all you have to do is pop it up and work into a duck, single leg tackle, or a high crotch motion, like such. So again, let's run through that one more time. Make sure that your head is on the same side that you control the underhook on. That's real important. Control it above the shoulder joint. You can have your arm pressed in close like that. You know, this depends on what type of technique you're going to shoot. As I said before, this would be good for an ankle pick. Pull him in a circle. Now drive him across that ankle, take him to the mat. Or you can control it here and lift his elbow high, like such. And although he tries to get this thing back down, he's still going to have a problem here. This would be good for singles, high crotches, or duck unders. Now, let's talk about what direction we need to move in when we control that underhook position. If you control the underhook position, it's always better to move towards the front, this way, as opposed to moving away from the man and towards his inside leg. Reason being is one of the counters that the opposition can use is a fireman's carry. I'll show you what we're talking about. Now watch. If I start to move this way, he's in a perfect position to hit his fireman's carry. Okay, let's watch that again. You start moving this way. You pull him right into a position so that he can hit his fireman's carry. If we move towards the front this way, now he hits his fireman's carry. Right towards his back. So it's important, when you control this, it's better to move towards the front as opposed to moving away from him. There is one exception. When you hit your ankle pick, to set this man up for an ankle pick, it's always a good idea to start moving him in a direction so that he steps with the foot that you want to pick. So, this is okay. Move him into your plan of attack, and then you can attack the ankle. Other than that, you want to try to control him by moving towards the front. Okay, moving towards the front. What you do with this other arm is also important. The main thing you want to try to do is keep it in close to your body. You can reach out and control his wrist. You may want to go into a bear hug position like such. Okay, you always want to keep it in a position where you can take your leg shots. Okay, knee picks, that way. But keep it in close to your body so that he can't attack this side of my body. For instance, say Rick hits an outside carry. I can use this arm to block and catch him in that position. So, let's just run through that very quickly again. Okay, control it above the shoulder joint. You could have it in close to your body like such, up high, head to the same side that you control it on, move towards the front when you work on your pick. Move towards the front when you work on your underhook position. Okay, try to avoid moving in a circle away from him, unless you're going to hit your ankle pick. Keep the free hand in your lap position. It's okay to reach out and control this. However, make sure that you protect your body, protect your legs. You want to keep this arm in close to the sides of your body. Okay, from here, this opens it up for singles, high crotches, and ducks when you lift high. If it's in close, this is more of an ankle pick type position or setup position. Again, from here you pull him in, you hit your ankle pick. You pull him in, you hit your cross knee pick, like such. Now let's cover some of the techniques that you can use from the unhooked position. Okay, once you control this underhook position, you want to get your body in position. You always want to try to keep the leg that you're going to penetrate with out front. For instance, if you know that you have a good double leg tackle from this position, you always try to set your penetration leg out front. This hand stays in close to protect this leg and your body, just in case he tries to attack. Okay, from here, the first thing we're going to do is just work a double. Oftentimes, you'll get in this position, and to get away from me, the defensive man will try to push me away, like such, to get out of the unhooked position. Especially if you have good control in this position. You're controlling the shoulder, your head is blocking him out from doing anything. Now he'll come up and push the shoulder away. From here, we just post up. When you post him up, you catch it above the elbow. You step right inside for your double leg tackle. Drive to the knee, come up, work for your finish. If you think that he might reach up and push your shoulder away, you should be ready to anticipate that action. For instance, you're in this position. As soon as he reaches up, boom, you're right in on the double, and you take him down. That's just the basic setup that you can use if he tries to push you away. Other things that you can do from this position are the ankle picks. We went over those just a little bit before, just the basic ankle pick. Your basic ankle pick. If you're going to pick him, make sure that his head stays at the same level as yours, or a little bit lower. You never want to pick him and get your head below his like such. You're going to put yourself in a bad position that way. So if we're going to pick him, we might want to get him to step with that far leg. So we move him in a circle, this way. Pull his head down, drive him across that ankle, and drive him to the mat. That's one way to pick him. Another way to pick him is by tripping this near leg and catching his far leg, like such. You step in here. Now from here, you trap his far leg, and you take him for an ankle pick, like such. The footwork has to happen fairly quickly. Boom, right here, take him down towards his back. Now, let's talk about some of the other things that we can do to this side of his body. Okay, again, keep your head on this side of his body. You want to control this. And the key thing here is to know that all you have to do is clear this arm. This is the only thing blocking me from attacking his legs. All of your basic leg attacks are available to you, as well as duck unders, to both sides. Okay, let's work a few of those things. On a single, lift it, hit your single. Okay, from here, hit your single. High crotch motion. From here, you're going to dip your knee, step to the outside, high crotch. You could also work a duck under, here, into a body lock. That's just a matter of ducking your head under his arm, like such. If he reaches out and controls this wrist, you can duck the other side, that way. Watch again. He reaches out and controls your wrist, duck and step. Here, come behind. Another set of things that you can do from this underhook position is go to a waist grip, okay? You have your underhook controlled here. If at all possible, you want to reach across and control his wrist first. Now you drop down and you control his waist, like such. Okay, now once you get to this position, you can work by controlling the inside of his body, controlling the inside of his hips, or you can work by controlling this part of his body. Okay. If we're going to step in front, the big thing here is to block his hips off. Right here, you step in front of his body. All we got to do is lift him up over the hips, this way, and take him right down towards his back. This is a fairly simple technique, and it's very effective. You control him right above his waist. And no matter how hard he tries, oftentimes he will not be able to get out of this position, especially if you can control his wrist. Now from here, we step in this way. Pop your hips in, cut his hips off now. Pop them all the way across, take him down to the mat. The other thing that you can do from this position is step behind his hip. So from here, this way, we're going to step behind this way. Now as we do that, we're going to lock up around his waist, lift and pop the hips, take him back. That's a very effective technique. Okay, from here, now we lock the hands, we step back behind the hips, pop the hips in and take him back, that way. Another thing that you can do towards the front, when you lock the hands, okay, the first time we stepped behind, we popped the hips and we took him back. This time we're just going to step in, control the center of his body this way, and wind him down in a circle to his back that way. Okay, again, you have his waist controlled, lock your hands, step in this way, twist him in a circle, down to the mat and towards his back. The big factor here is that you're controlling the center of his body. This is a tremendous position to be in. You can step behind, pop your hips and take him back, or you can step in front. The only place he has to go in this situation is towards the front and towards his back. Half Nelson. Now let's talk about defensing the underhook. You should know how to defend the underhook as well as be able to get into it. Okay, first of all, when a man gets an underhook, you want to try to protect your legs as much as possible. Basically what we're talking about here is just keeping this elbow in close to your body and not giving him anything to shoot at. First defense we're going to talk about is just post his shoulder this way and raise the elbow high. The elbow comes high and back to the inside. Okay, we're posting his shoulder, elbow high. Notice, as I take my elbow high, I turn it towards the inside, back down. As you take it back down, you lower your center of gravity. Now, you don't take it up this way and raise your body. That gives him a chance to shoot in on your legs. Boom, right there. From here, notice, elbow up, body down, and back in. Okay, so from here, back in again. Okay, another thing that might be available to you in this position is just to take his head. Oftentimes, you can reach over this way, like such, and just pull his head in a circle towards his underhook, that way. He underhooks, hook his head. Now, immediately pull, that way, and move in a circle towards the front of his body. Remember we talked about before, his body has to follow his head. So by doing this, pulling his head this way, now you move that way. The other thing you can do, before he gets it in deep, is a quick pummel. For instance, say Rick digs on this side. I just go back to the inside. Again, you know he's good with the underhook. He digs in, you go back to the inside. Dig in, back to the inside. Here's a good little drill. One man digs for an underhook, he goes to the inside. He digs for one, I go to the inside. Okay, we just keep doing that. This can become automatic in competition if you work on this in your drills. You can do this to both sides. I dig in, he goes inside. The key here is to keep your elbow close to your body. So that now, watch. When I dig in on Rich this time, if immediately he goes back to the inside, I'm not going to have my underhook. Right there. Right there. That stops the underhook immediately.